the fastest way to get members into your team. Today I'm going to give an overview of the Ninja Marketing Method Framework. To the people needing help implementing this strategy, I'm giving a 20-minute free strategy call. All you've got to do is type strategy below and I'll give you the link. For those who don't know me, I am Sandra J. Connor, your preferred guide to prospecting solutions. Subscribe to my channel because I record a new episode each day giving you one new strategy. Implement these strategies and start the transformation in your business. So today we're discussing the Ninja Marketing Method Framework. So there's 3 steps to the Ninja Marketing Framework. The first step is serve. And the second step is present. First step is serve, second step is present, and the third step is to pursue. I got to constantly watch. One time I was doing this and the screen got all fuzzy and I didn't even realize I did half the video where the camera wasn't even focused on me. So, okay, let's break this down a little bit for you. Serve is where you develop your superpower. This is what you decide your entire marketing strategy is going to be about. What your show is going to be about, what your concept's going to be, what you're going to be seen as an expert in. So this is very, very important. Now, you can change if you start it and you don't like it. You can change. But that's the first step is you've got to figure out what topic you're going to pick to be an expert in. Like mine is prospecting. Step 2, present. This is where you educate your audience on the topic that you picked. So whatever you're going to be an expert in, this is where you're presenting that to your audience, educating them, solving their problems in that topic. Again, that is your superpower in the Ninja Marketing Method. And step 3, which is pursue, it's not where you're chasing people down. This is where you start running ads to cold traffic. You're starting to try to attract the people that you can truly help. So you're pursuing the people, like for me, it was prospecting. I'm pursuing the people that need help prospecting. And then the people that have already interacted with me, I'm retargeting those people to serve them even more. So I'm still serving. I never stop serving. So serve is really the first one, but that's where you're developing your identity, what's going to be your avatar, what's going to be your superpower. And then you're presenting that, you're educating your audience, all the things that you're going to help them with in that process. And then the third one is you're running ads, you're actually pursuing your audience, trying to bring people in to your world. So that's the first 3 steps. Now, each step has a milestone that you need to reach before you can go to the next step. So, like the first step, which is serve, the first milestone is you've got to be able to identify your superpower. So you can't move to the next step until you can truly identify your superpower, and that is measurable. So you know what are you going to pick? And there's all different aspects in network marketing. Any business, actually, really all of our businesses have the same thing. You've got to have a framework. You've got to have a way to attract your audience. You've got to have a lead magnet to, bait to get them to come into your world. You've got to be able to get them to sign up or to purchase your product, no matter what industry you're in. So the first milestone is you've got to identify your superpower. There's no moving to the next frame until you do that. And then the second milestone, and this is all under the serve category. So the second one is then you decide, okay, it's time to start creating the content in your superpower, whatever you're the expert in. Now you're creating the content that's going to help your audience. And until you start creating that content, and this is where you're just putting it on your podcast, you're putting it on your YouTube channel, you're posting on Facebook or Instagram, you're just starting to let people know what you're doing and how you can help serve them. And yeah, that's milestone number 2. So you don't move to milestone number 2 until you have created your content and you've got your channel up and running and you're starting to get traffic organically. So it's all free at this point. You're just posting your information, and again, on social media and on whatever your show is going to be. Like mine's YouTube, and I have a podcast. So if you want to do a blog, you can do that. Whatever your show is, this is the mechanism that you're going to use to attract your audience. So that's a big step too. You need to know where does my audience hang out. If they're mainly on Instagram, well then that needs to be your vehicle. Then you need to use Instagram to attract your audience. Mine, I believe, is mainly on YouTube because they're searching out, trying to figure out how to succeed in network marketing. And YouTube is the best searching engine for that. So the first milestone is you got to identify your superpower. The second milestone is you got to be able to create the content daily to post on your show. And then the third milestone is traffic, because now you're ready to start truly attracting your audience. But I don't recommend putting money out there because this is where I messed up. I spent a ton of money. I'm actually embarrassed to tell you what I've spent, because all the gurus taught me, okay, you build a funnel, you build a lead magnet, and then you do an ad and you run it, and then people are just going to see your ad. They're going to say, oh yeah, I want that. They're going to go see your landing page. They're going to click in and get your lead magnet, and then they're going to see your lead magnet, and then they're going to go view your webinar, and then they're going to purchase your thing without even talking to you or nothing. It's going to be so easy peasy, you're going to make $1 million. Trust me, it does not work. You've got to be able to get people to know, like, and trust you. Now, it does work for the gurus who's teaching that because they've already been through all that. They've already spent all the money, and they've already built a following. But until you build a following, I hate to tell you, ads are not going to work for you. At least that's been my experience. So now we know the 3 steps in the ninja marketing process. It is to serve, present, and pursue. And in those categories, you have different steps, different milestones you need to achieve. The first one is to identify your superpower. Then you move to the next step, which is creating the content, getting your free, your organic traffic into your world and start getting some sales that way. And then the third thing is to start buying ads and truly running traffic and scaling your business. And you also automate it at that point too. So now let's take a deeper look in each milestone. So the first one is your superpower. So the first thing, naturally, is to identify what you're going to be an expert in. Now, in the Ninja Marketing Method, I have an entire module dedicated to this. And we're not going to go that deep in it today, but basically, you pick the topic that you're interested the most in, or whatever comes easiest to you. Like I said, you can teach how to build funnels. You can teach how to record videos. You can teach how to make lead magnets. You can teach prospecting. You can teach ads. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on, whatever you can pick as your superpower. And even if you're not an expert in it now, you just need to pick a topic and then dive in and then start teaching what you've learned. It's as simple as that. So after you identify your superpower, then the next step is the hook. So now you know what your superpower is, and I'm just going to use the example of prospecting because that's what I do. So, okay, so now you know my superpower is prospecting, and that's what I'm going to teach people. So now, before you really start creating the content, you've got to know how to create hooks. This is basically the headline. What are you going to say to get people's attention to, come into your world? And it also, the hook also includes creating attractive thumbnails for if you're doing YouTube or for your posts. Also, you got to be able to attract somebody to make them stop scrolling if they're on YouTube, get them to stop scrolling, to stop and see what your video is all about or what your post is all about. So the third step you can read my chicken scratch, is developing your framework. And when I say framework, that's exactly what I'm teaching you today. What is your process for building your business? So mine is the Ninja marketing method. So you have to create your framework, and it really ideally needs to be a 3-step framework, because people don't want to take on something that's going to be very detailed and very long and difficult to learn. So 3 steps is ideal. So you basically just start your process, see what's working for you, and then you keep track of what you did and what worked. Because if it seems easy to you and you just assume, well, this is what everybody else is doing because it's working, chances are it's not. Because that's what I thought. I thought that, okay, just by serving my audience, obviously everybody's doing that because it seems like common sense and it seems like that's something everybody would do. But it's really not. If you look around the industry, people are still talking to family and friends, trying to get them to join network marketing, going up to strangers, and just posting nonstop on social media about it. And unfortunately, those ways do not work. So now you've got your superpower. You know what you're expert in. You know how to create hooks to get people to stop to look at your content. And now you've developed your framework that you're going to use. And it could just be copying the Ninja marketing method. You're just going to start out that way to get people to learn what you're doing. And you just teach that framework. Or if you have your own, that's fine. And then the third thing is, that was a third thing. Third thing is framework. The fourth thing is to create your show. So, okay, now you're ready to create your show because you've got to have somewhere to put the content that you're creating. So this is where you develop your podcast, your YouTube channel, or if you're just going to go live on Facebook, or you're going to do a blog. So you create your show. And now the next step is you need to have a video script that you're going to use to start out with. So you have a certain framework that you're using to record your videos. It's just much easier to write this content and to present the content if you have a script that you're using. So we go over that and we get you all set up with that. And now you have passed milestone number 1. All of those things are under your identifying your superpower. So now, once you complete that, then you're ready to go to the milestone number 2. This is where you can really get started with it. So let's clear off the board here. And let's see what we're going to do with your business in milestone number 2. Oh, this is a fun one. The very first one is you're going to do an exercise where you're going to create at least 15 pieces of content. And again, I have a module teaching you how to do that, so we're not going to go into the whole process. But so when you leave that module, you're going to have 15 pieces of content already created, and really we're going to show you ways to turn that 15 pieces into an infinite number of pieces of content to use in your business. And now, so you're creating your content, you're building your channel, you're starting to educate your audience, they're starting to see who you are, and all of your content is going to be revolving around your superpower. So now the second one is deep dive survey. I learned that from Ryan Levesque. Most of this, like the 15 pieces of content, I learned that from Laurel Portier, my mentor. And Ryan Levesque is also a coach of mine. So the deep dive survey, this is where you ask people what they want, what they need to know. You know, what do you need to learn? How can I help you, basically? So you're trying to serve them more. That way you're making sure that the content you're creating is what your audience truly wants. So you either get them to take a quiz, or I show you a way to do a stealth deep dive survey. So you can go out and search and find what people are talking about, what they're struggling with, and how you can serve them better. So now the next thing is now you want your content to create comments. So you're starting a conversation with your audience. So you've got your show up and running, you know your superpower, you're creating your content, you're solving people's problems, you're doing research posts or deep dive surveys where you're getting information from your audience, and now you're trying to get comments from either your social media post or your YouTube channels or your show, whatever show you're doing. That way you're getting your prospect to start the conversation with you. So you know that they're highly qualified prospects because they're asking you for something. And after you get them to start the conversation, the next step is to get them to take that conversation into Messenger. So if you're in Facebook, then, okay, you're trying to get them to move it to Messenger. If you're in YouTube, you're trying to get them to move the content or the conversation over to Messenger. So you can continue the conversation until you can move them to the next step, which is getting them on a phone call. So now you've got 15 pieces of content that you have to create, and you only have to do that one time. So you get that done, then you're able to do research post or your deep dive survey. Then your next goal is to try to get them to start commenting on your videos, your post, or your social media post. After you get them to start the conversation, then the next goal is to try to get them into Messenger to continue the conversation. That's where you're continuing to help them. And then the ultimate goal is to get them on a phone call or a Zoom call where you can serve them even more. And now you've completed milestone number 2. So now you're ready to go to the third milestone. So let's clear the board here so that we can discuss. Okay, milestone number 3, this is the last one, and this is the big one. This is traffic and automation. So the very first one is your ad strategy. So I'm actually going to go a little bit into this. I'm not going to go deep because I don't want to go too long with this. But the very first ad strategy is the $5 ad strategy. So you've got all that content that you've created. So the very first thing you're going to do so that's a video, and you're going to run a $5 ad to that video. That's the first thing. And again, this is Laurel Portier's ad strategy. That's what I'm implementing because it works. So why create it yourself when you can use a strategy that you know works? So then the second step in her strategy, day 2, you've already got the content done, or if not, then you write the content, you record the video, because they're only 3 to 5 minutes long. All of these videos are 3 to 5 minutes long, and they're teaching your audience one specific strategy, and within that, Laurel calls it power content, because within these videos, you are trying to get them to ask for your lead magnet, where they're starting the conversation with them. And you're doing that by truly helping to serve them. So you're solving one specific problem in each video. Third day, guess what? Same thing. So now you've got 3 ads. You're up to a whopping $15. So each video is 3 to 5 minutes long. And then each ad is $5 each. So all 3 are now running. 3 days, and you've got 3 ads up and running. So another thing I want to explain is all of these ads are going to cold traffic, meaning these people do not know you at all. So you're running 3 $5 ads, 3 pieces of content that you're teaching your audience into this ad. Now, you're running $5 ads to your cold traffic, trying to build an audience of the people that watch these videos. They watch a certain percentage of the video. YouTube is gonna save that into an audience for you if you set up the tracking, which I've taught you how to do that in the Ninja Marketing Method. So now you are moving on to day 4. So what are you gonna do on day 4? Day 4 is where you're doing, Laurel calls it conversion multipliers. These are 60-second reels. So it's basically a reel, 60-second reel, and it's trying to encourage them to watch the videos and to take your lead magnet. So you're trying to give them reasons to jump on and to start a conversation with you. So again, one day here, $5, and you're going to do 3 of these as well. So you've got $15 here and $15 here. Now you're up to day 7, and day 7 is when you go back and look at the first video. You're back over here. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Day 7, you come back over here to video 1, and now you start looking at your progress. What did, how well did it do? Did it meet your targets? Call them KPIs. Did it meet the KPI? If it did, then you leave it up and running. You want it to keep going. If it didn't, then you cut it and you replace it. So now you say it did not meet the KPI, it didn't get the right clicks, or the people didn't watch it long enough, or the hook wasn't right, whatever was not right with that video. You cut it, you put another one up, because the quicker you can test this, you're looking for the winners. So once you find the winners, then you no longer have to spend the full $15 a day. You can cut it down and you can spend a small amount because you know the ones that people are watching, they're engaging with, they're starting a conversation with you. And the same thing with this. So each day you review, so now you're up to day 8. So you review this one, day 9, day 10, day 11, day 12. So who thinks they could handle that? You're only doing, these are only 60 seconds. These are maximum 5 minutes. So out of a 24-hour day, you're only taking 5 minutes to record a video. And then when you get over here on day 4, you're only taking a minute to record your video. Now it takes longer to get the ad up and running and that type of thing. But that's the process. There's no reason why you can't do this and work a full-time job. So you get it up and running, and then once you've got them up and running, you need to continue to record the content because of the ones you need to replace. But then let's say that you've got it and okay, this is a winner, and let's say this is a winner. So now you can put, your $15 just on those ads, and you're still going to bring in more people because those are the ones that are working. And this is also to cold traffic. So this is also trying to build a warm audience. That means people that actually know you, and then you can start retargeting them. So the goal is for both of these ad strategies, these ad contents, to create an audience that you set up in your retargeting, on YouTube, and then they watch a certain amount of these videos and YouTube saves them, said, yes, that person's interested in what you have to offer. Now you can move to the next strategy, which is retargeting them. So, okay, that's the $5 ad strategy that we just discussed. So that's the first step in the third milestone that you're trying to achieve. And then the second step in that is your power content. And that's where you do exactly what I just discussed, where you're trying to find the videos that win, the videos that people engage with the most, the people that they're watching it the most or commenting the most. That's why I call it a winner, because that's what you want. You're trying to start a conversation with your audience so you can get them to join your team. And then the third step is what we also discussed. That's where you get to day 7 and you're checking the KPIs. You're checking to see the data. Did it work? Did it not work? And that's all you're thinking about. And one thing I learned from Laurel is you have to keep running the ads and you have to keep swapping them out. That's where I messed up before. I spent a lot of money on a certain number of ads and then I just, quit. It takes a lot. But when you're only spending $5, you can set your own budget. You just make sure you don't spend, say if you have a $500 budget per month, yeah, you may spend a lot up front trying to find the winners, but then once you find the winners, then you can readjust and you can still bring in a lot of people. And once you start making sales and getting people on your team, then you can up your ad strategy. And then, so that's the first strategy is a $5 ad. The second strategy is the power content that we discussed. You're recording the 3 to get your ads up and running. Third, you're checking your data to see, what videos won, which ones you need to stop. And then the fourth one is now you're starting the $2 ad strategy. Look familiar? Does that look familiar? Here's the difference. That's the difference. You're only spending $2 a day and you're sending this to warm traffic. This is still your power content. And this is still your conversion multipliers, your reels. So you're still doing the exact same thing, but you're only spending $2 a day, and you're spending it to the people that know who you are because you're sending it to warm traffic. So that's step 4, and then the 5th step is to boost your post. So you're doing all the ads that I just showed you, the $5 ad and the $2 ad, and then on top of that, you're still creating your content every single day. And you can turn that into future ads because you've got to keep your show going. So you need to post a video every single day or a podcast or a blog, whatever you're doing. You need to do a new show is what we're going to say every single day. That's new power content that you can then use in your ads. So now you're boosting those posts. And Laurel calls this the Hot 7. So you see which 7 posts got the most engagement, the most comments, the most likes, whatever. And that's the ones that you pick for your ads. The Hot 7. So, and then you're also automating this process now. So you're doing less. By this stage, since you're running ads, you can now introduce funnels. And you can now introduce things that cause friction that you're going to get less people to actually jump on. But the first part of it, you're having 100 conversations a week early on. So that's in milestone number 2, where you're creating the comments and the conversations. You're trying to have 100 conversations a week. Once you do that, this is where you're getting a lot of information from your audience. You're learning what they want, what they don't want, what they need help with. You're learning their language. You're just getting so much knowledge by communicating with them that way. Then you can create courses to sell to them to solve their problems. And once you get down to milestone 3, where you're into the traffic part of it, you can automate it, like I said, by running traffic to funnels, which, yeah, you're going to get less people, but you're going to have a way to plug the holes, which we're not going to go into all that now, but a normal funnel has a lot of holes at each step. You know, you've got to go through the ad, to the funnel, to the webinar, to the sales page. So in between each one, there's holes because people fall off from the ad. They don't actually click and go to your lead magnet. And then people get the lead magnet and they don't do anything with it. Or they get the lead magnet and they don't go to the webinar. They sign up for the webinar and they don't actually attend it. They attend the webinar, but they don't watch the full thing. So there's a lot of holes in there and a lot of ways you can implement to fill those holes and to get more people to stick with you and to actually purchase or to join your team. So that's basically it in a nutshell. That again is a 1,000-foot view, you know, a really high view of the Ninja Marketing Method, but it gives you an idea of what it is, and it basically tells you exactly what the Ninja Marketing Method is. Now, if the people that are watching this would like help implementing this, now's the time to schedule a free call with me. Again, it's a 20-minute free call. There's no obligation at all. It's a free call, and it's just to see if this program is a good fit for you. And it's just for the people that need help implementing this process. I would love to talk to you, so please comment below, schedule a free strategy call. I would love to work with you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell because you don't want to miss any of my future trainings. I'll see you tomorrow.